Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to this Creative Warrior online program powered by Vidyadhan. This webinar is scheduled on Saturday evening for a specific reason. That's what I'm going to tell you very soon. So let's start. And this is Pooja Arora welcoming you all on behalf of Media and Entertainment Skills Council. Here during today's webinar, we are going to talk about the future of OTT and audio space in India. Of course, we are going to celebrate the launch of Media Talk Back magazine as well with our honorable guest, Mr. Shashank Singh, co-founder and CEO of FLYX and Backstage, and Mr. Rushabh Mehta, India head BD and operations, FLYX and Backstage. So before we proceed, let me introduce you about uh, Shashank Singh. Shashank Singh is the CEO and co-founder of FLYX and Backstage. FLYX is an India and US-based social network platform for OTT content, and Backstage is an interactive podcast app with about 2 decades of experience in consulting, media, and technology. Shashank has worked across products, engineering, product management, product marketing, etc. And when we talk about Mr. Rushabh Mehta, he heads India business operations for FLYX and Backstage. He is instrumental in brand building, ensuring user growth and engagement for forging a partnership with various brands and organizations in India. So let's quickly invite them both here on this platform. So Mr. Singh and Mr. Mehta, you're most welcome, and thank you for accepting our invitation to join this workshop, this webinar.
Hello, Pooja.
Hello,
Very good
sir,
evening.
and namaste and welcome to Mr. Mehta and Mr. Singh. Right now, we have kept it in the evening hours because Mr. Singh is located in United States, and it's Saturday morning for him.
Thank you for that.
Thank you. So let's proceed with my questions. I have a huge list of questions for both of you. Now, I'd really like to know what inspired you guys to start Backstage.
So yeah, I'll take on that. Before we talk about Backstage, I'll tell you like how we all started the journey, and you'll see how the evolution came to the Backstage. So we launched FLYX last year. We started thinking about FLYX in 2019, and we launched FLYX in 2020. So FLYX is a space, social network where friends and family can come together and talk about the movies they are watching, what kind of movies and shows they are liking. So it was a social network built on top of that. People can post stories, and you can discover what to watch and where to watch on that social network. And while we were developing and we actually released it, we thought about creating a space where people can really talk about things. And we didn't want to launch something like a normal forum, which has been done multiple times by so many people. So we just wanted to create something new. And me being a podcaster, I launched my own technology podcast like last year. So there was internally we discussed, and everyone really liked the idea of having some kind of an audio space where people can talk. And that's where, so we see the movie and shows, it's always in the front stage. So we wanted to create something backstage because that's where the real people are talking, having real conversations. So that's where the idea of Backstage came out for. Once you watch a movie or show, it's a very emotional experience, and you always want to share. Either you like it or you don't like it, or even if it was an average, you always end up talking about it. And so we wanted to create a space where you can review or you can talk about movies and record it and make it available for other people also. So we wanted to make it very, very interactive. So we made Backstage where you can go live, you can invite your friends and family, your followers, and have a nice conversation around it. If you choose to record it, and then it becomes available as a podcast for later on people to actually talk about. So that was the inspiration behind Backstage. But when we gave beginning this year, when we gave our beta users a bit to try Backstage, they all started why I'm supposed to just talk about movies and shows? I can talk about politics, I can talk about sports, I can talk about cricket. And that's where we thought like, oh, why not we actually launch Backstage as an independent app where it has FLYX inside it, but we wanted people to have the ability to talk about almost everything, like education, skills, people coming and talking about that was also on our agenda. News, anything and everything under the universe can be talked on Backstage.
And wonderful, sir. So your idea, your concept was different, and there were parts where were it's different than other social media platforms that are trending nowadays. Now, when we talk about Indian operations, so how do you see it's different in India and in US?
So I can take on that. Rushabh, you want to add on that? Is see, for me, like I'm focused very much on India right now. Like I formed the company in US, and then now we are India operation based. Rushabh is leading the India operations and business development, and I personally believe on that. Like once you make it for India, then it's really available, ready for the global world to be taken on. So it was very challenging for us. Like for me, it's easier probably to launch a product in just US and focus on one kind of people, having one language and one culture, I would say, in that sense. Uh, but if you make it for India, it's a much bigger challenge, and it's a much bigger opportunity also. But opportunity comes with a challenge, and that's where we were like, okay, let's focus on India. If we make the product really works for India, then that's when we know that we are ready for the global world to be taken on. And and I think like that's where we are focused on. Rushabh, you want to add something there?
So yeah, so to add on to it, Pooja, I think India as a country is more like a European Union. So we have so many languages, so many dialects being spoken in India, right? So and the sheer size of the market, right? So if you are to succeed in India, you can conquer the world far easily. So that was the approach for us to really get ourselves established in the country like India. And FLYX, essentially, when we launched FLYX last year, India continued to be our focus. I mean, that time the thought was that again, so many movies are being launched in India, right? I mean, if I'm not wrong, somewhere around 1,000 movies get released across all languages put together in a year. Now, there has to be an audience. So I remember Netflix seeing that content even with subtitles, right? So language is no more a barrier now of late. So the thought was that why can't Indian content travel abroad in all true sense? And Flix was trying to just enable that, if I were to say. And hence India was to be a focus market. And as Shashank mentioned about our inspiration towards Backstage as well. So we continue to be focusing and invested on Indian market completely.
Okay, so that means Indian market is the premium market where you can look for success, and once it's successful in India, that means you can take it to anywhere in the world.
Oh,
That's
absolutely.
definitely.
Okay, that's us. It feels so good to hear this about our country.
No, that's the truth actually. Like I like really India is. I mean, it should be for all the global companies also that if you can make it in India, you can make it anywhere. That's
Yep.
true.
Uh, how did this idea came to you to have this exclusively audio-based platform?
Yeah, it was the same thing. Like where we see another thing about audio is uh, if you look at there's a lot of fatigue coming out of video nowadays. Actually, people are constantly looking at the screen, and people are constantly watching videos, short videos, long form videos, OTT stuff, mostly videos, and audio represents a opportunity where you can reach out to the customers when they are actually doing something else. So in one of the survey, like 94% of the people who are listening to audios are also multitasking. They're doing something. When I'm doing my household chores, when I'm doing my dishes or laundry, or I'm going to the gym, running, or even commuting, actually, that's when what are you actually, you're not looking at YouTube and driving. Actually, you're not actually looking at other visual social media. That's when you are on audio, and that represents a huge opportunity, and we wanted to take on that opportunity, and that's where the Backstage is focus on audio for now, and we think that audio is growing at a pace which you will see like in the post pandemic also. My prediction is there will be a huge boost in audio, because people will be commuting more, people will be going out more. When you're going out and something, you're not actually sitting and watching a video. Actually, you can still listen to the audio streams, and that's where we are really bullish about audio.
Right. Even when we are on our roads, we have our radios or podcast always on.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's
And
intimate and immersive, but at the same time non-invasive. So that's the main benefit of audio as a medium.
okay, right. What kind of industry associations you have established with the Backstage?
No, so I think if I were to take that, Shashank, uh,
Yeah.
see, I mean, we launched Backstage only in April this year, right? And we already have brands starting to use and create their own niche properties on our platform. So, for example, we have Bukosmia. It's a kids publisher, and it's a platform for the kids and by the kids. So, interestingly, the kids come onto the platform and they do all sort of storytelling. They enact in different voices. So we had a guest, Shobha Tharoor, an author and sister of Dr. Shashi Tharoor. And when she graced the occasion, she was also astonished to see the talent of these young ones. So, and apart from Bukosmia, we also have something like Misters. Now, it's a brand which talks about men's sexual wellness. So they do it. They do a show every Friday. Similarly, we also have a brand about to launch, which is talking about menstrual hygiene. So the conversation is about to begin in a week's time on that as well. Similarly, we have a travel brand, where they are creating talk shows around travel, and especially in the post-pandemic world, how the travel will be. So apart from brands, Pooja, we also are very strong when it comes to universities and colleges. There are so many colleges who have their own dedicated backstages being there, where students are using it to organize club events, peer-to-peer collaboration. In fact, even a couple of faculty members have started using it for internal conversation as well in a couple of colleges. So I think we are getting just right there, and this is a matter of what I think 3 to 4 months that we are there in the business right now. But I think we are seeing some really good spark there coming in.
That's great, really great. In such a short span, you have succeeded so well. But there must be competition as well. How do you see your competition and challenges when Backstage is coming up in India and there are few established OTT platforms? So,
So I think that there's always a challenge, and it's a good thing that keeps you on the toes, and it actually inspires you to do good and better, and keep makes you think more innovatively. And if I completely believe in the free markets, and let the free market decide who is the winner. And especially I think like and in the end, like who wins is the audience actually, like, or the consumers are winning if there's a good competition out there. We believe that what we have done is something very innovative, something not done before. Especially like if you look at the Backstage, the kind of things we have done is a live and interactive podcast. There was nothing there before like that. Once we launched, uh, like you can schedule a room, you can actually use the same link to invite people. In the same link, people can come and join, and before they even the conversation start, they can actually even chat there and have a conversation there. And then at the specified time it goes live, where the speakers and hosts and co-hosts and all come together. There are hundreds and thousands of listeners who can come and join there, and then have a same link works live, and then the same link becomes like a podcast. So you can see the three stages of stuff there. And if you look at the current social media or current podcasting app, with whatever you're using, as a content creator or as a brand or as a person who has put his or her content out there, we don't even come to know who has listened to our podcast. And that's where we want to change it actually. Like even if I'm like while we are using YouTube right now, you don't even know who's the on the other side. Like you can see, okay, like 200 people are watching it or 500 people are watching it, but you have no idea who are those 500 people actually. And that's what we are changing actually. You in Backstage, you exactly know who are the people who are listening. You exactly know we have some data about that, like because I want to, like, if I'm making a product for my consumers, and if I have no access to my consumer, no idea about who my consumers are, who are my target group is, uh, male, females, demographics about them. Like if I ask you right now, like or some content creators that, do you know how many people from Mumbai are actually watching right now? And you'll have no idea. And why? Because it's a what people are used to right now is working in a walled garden. And these walled garden companies, like bigger companies, who are doing pretty well, actually, they don't share data with the content creators. They don't share data with the brands. They don't share data with them. Uh, and of course, there are some privacy things there, but also when I am working really hard to get my audience onto a platform, then I have all the rights to actually know who those audiences are. And I should have, like, it's a mix of what you see is a social media plus a bit of CRM should be inbuilt. And because every content creator in our world is a small business, in my opinion, and we want to give them tools and utilities so that they can grow their businesses. You're muted, Pooja.
You're muted, Pooja.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I was talking on mute. But it's really nice when we are now discussing about how it's a mix of social media plus a CRM. So kind of artificial intelligence is also somewhere, involved. And then
Mhm.
when you will have ample of audience, just, nowadays we are concerned about the privacy policy as well. So, are you selling the leads also, or is it within Backstage, like it's encrypted, or it's within information is with you?
Yeah,
The
information is with us. We are not selling the data of anyone uh, there, like directly, like, okay, you can have their personal PIIs, for example. What we are giving is like, okay, you can look at the profile, you can look at some kind of demographics about people there. And we are also working on technology where brands will get empowered, and there would be a consent between the user and the brands that, okay, I'm okay with sharing this data. And hopefully in the longer term we'll see that, but that's definitely in the future, that a brand will also incentivize and give you something back on that. It will not be just like, okay, we take, it cannot be a just one way deal that all the data is going towards the brand and you are not getting anything back in the return.
okay,
And
wonderful.
also in today's world, you need to be GDPR compliant, right? I mean, GDPR or the likes of it, right? Even in there will be some sort of laws coming in India as well. So as an entity, you can't not have those things, and because privacy and safety is of prime importance.
Right, I agree. So sounds like very competitive product to me. Backstage. Now there must be job opportunities as well for aspiring students, and even there are content creators that are nowadays creating video content, and a lot of. How is Backstage facilitating to these budding content creators or young generation in terms of job opportunities?
So Pooja, as we scale up, I mean, definitely we will have to recruit people more on the interns and the trainees sort of to begin with, mainly in the marketing and the content strategy. We'll need engineers for building the application as well. But having said that, we are also creators platform, right? And we aim to create the new set of content creators, influencers, artists, which we call them as audio jockeys. You know, where who can work with brands and communities, can create some exciting audio content. So if anybody has a talent on that front, Backstage is going to be a ultimate creators platform. So definitely huge, and as Shashank mentioned earlier as well, right? There will be we are in fact creating tools for the creators as well. One such tool, for example, is an editing feature. You know, so once the podcast is ready, editing feature will be inbuilt into the app, where the host or the podcaster can do all those changes as well before once before it gets published as well. So there are certain premium tools also being developed as we speak right now.
Okay, so like positive and very good opportunities can be seen over the
Oh yeah,
years.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, the Rishabh was saying, like, I just want to add on that is like, we believe that the audio segment is going to grow like it grew by like close to like 30% CAGR in now 2019 to 2020, and it's assumed that it's going to be continuing growing like that for next few years. And if you look at that, when it grows at that pace, it will create a lot of job opportunities. If not Backstage, but the audio space is going to create so much job opportunities, and brands are getting excited about that space. That means brand will need people with those kind of skills to work for them, create content for them. So, and we hope that Backstage would be the tool and platform where we can connect those two set of group of so brands, content creators, and consumers in one platform. That's what Backstage is going to be.
Okay, wonderful,
No,
sir.
in fact, to add on to it, I think we've already done that. We've already facilitated the budding content creators. So we have a young team of sports enthusiasts.
Yeah,
The group of people from different parts of the world who've come together and who are doing conversations on sports, be it cricket, Olympics, everything. So when Abhinav Bindra was there on a platform, the Balaso Sports, the group of sports enthusiasts, we actually they gave them an opportunity to interact with him directly.
yeah,
Similarly, we have again a young platform called as Kitabi Karma, which is into books. They talk about books and all, right? So when Kabir Bedi was there on on a platform to discuss about the launch of his book and the stories that he has written in the book. So we gave the opportunity to this young Siddharth from Kitabi Karma to actually have to be the host of that conversation. So we are trying to facilitate that as well. So when we see some spark amongst the content creators, we give them the opportunity to different forms, wherever it's possible.
yeah,
That's wonderful. We all are going to register on this platform now.
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely. So as we speak right now, there is already a live conversation, live event going around where singer Assis Kaur is performing on our property called as Mehfil Fankar.
Okay.
And again at 8 p.m. we have Dheeraj Dupar, who's shot to fame with Kundli Bhagya and Sasural Simarka. So he's going to come at 8. So there are people, celebrities coming on to the platform, having conversations, singers talking about their journey, and then singing. It's a very very interactive tool in
Yeah.
that sense.
And we have let so many fans actually to talk to the celebrities or sports person and everything. Like we had tennis star, like India's number one player, Somdev there, and we let people actually even talk to the sports enthusiasts come and they ask questions to them and they answer it actually. And you can see like compared to any other live stuff there, like in this case people can raise hand and they can become a speaker. So that experience for them to actually talk to a known personality, like people talking on Abhinav Bindra, how many time you get an opportunity to do that? Very rare actually. And so Backstage is also democratizing a lot of things there. There we that relationship and the bonding happening between those stars and between the fans is amazing. And yeah, I mean, we will try to get more and more of these things on Backstage. And
Like
same
creating,
opportunity,
yeah.
yeah, so I was saying the same opportunity comes for, like, when doing this we are telling the brands, this is how you create the audiences, this is how you create a very tight bond. You can have millions of followers on your Instagram or other social media stuff, but you need to have your 10,000, 20,000 super fans, and they should be on Backstage where you are constantly interacting with them, telling them about your stuff, telling or taking feedback from them so that you can refine your product, give them access to certain things so that you can get a quick feedback from them, can do quick survey about things you're launching, and they are your foot soldiers. They will then spread the word out there in various other things.
Okay, so this is another kind of a platform creation to bridge, I'll say, the gap between the celebrity and their fans,
Yeah,
right? So
and
they
brands
can
and
interact,
yeah, and the brands and consumers.
brands and consumers, right? So now when we are talking about business, what's your marketing strategy to reach your audience?
So we are right now very much focused on building the product. So I would say our marketing strategy is lacking a bit, to be honest. what we believe at the core is that we believe in making a really awesome product, and and nothing beats word of mouth. And that's how we are growing right now, where people are having good experience on Backstage and they tell their friends and family, or these celebrities or people from have large followings are coming and they are actually sharing on their stories, or they're sharing on their Instagram that they are coming on Backstage. So that is getting us some people coming on Backstage. Uh, then we also have brands who are working with us, so they are creating content, so they are creating amazing content which they are sharing across their social platform. So that's giving us some kind of awareness. But yeah, I mean, like, we will amplify our marketing in coming months. There are certain things we are working on as a feature, and we want to wait for that so that we have a wholesome experience in the app. So in the next few months you will start seeing like more outreach to the people. So there's a very small set of people who know about Backstage right now. When there are billions of people out there in the world, in that sense, we are small, but opportunity is big, and we'll definitely in next few months you'll see more marketing efforts from us.
Okay,
No,
wonderful.
even
I mean,
even
so
even
exciting.
to add on
Yes.
to it, Pooja. In fact, because when we from right from day one when we launched our product, one thing that we were very clear was that whenever somebody lands onto the platform, he or she should find some quality content, to begin with.
Yeah.
And that's how we started with Backstage Red Carpet, where we leveraged our industry connections. We invited celebrities, professionals, doctors to talk about different subjects, and give them an interactive, community-based, podcast-driven experience. Now, the benefit was even when they came, their followers also got tagged along to a larger extent, right? So, for example, we did Mother's Day event, right, where celebrities like Ravina Tandon and Tiska Chopra were talking about motherhood story. But at the same time, we also had an open mic where mothers were venting out as well. So Mother's Day is celebrated once a year, but I mean the rest of the time they keep on venting. So it became a platform for them. Similarly, we had an environment day conversations wherein we got stalwarts like Bittu Sehgal, and he was associated to this wildlife conservation right
Safe
from Project
concept.
Tiger days in 1970s. So then we had somebody from Niti Aayog, a member of Niti Aayog called as Karan Thakkar, who came in, who addressed, and there were people who shifted to their hills, and they were talking about their experiences in their life. So it was a complete package, if I were to say. Plus, we are very, very big with LGBTQ community as well. Where we had a Pride weekend celebrated in the month of June,
Yeah.
and people from different parts of the country, as far as Northeast as well. So they had jumped in big numbers and having conversations. And sports, Shashank did mention earlier as well, right? So we had more like likes of Sanjay Manjrekar, Abhinav Bindra, Farooq Engineer, Somdev, everybody coming onto the platform. So in a span of 3 to 4 months, I think without any marketing spend, without anything on that as such, I think we are truly humbled, and we couldn't have asked for more. With the limited word of mouth that we could do it, but it's the experience that people leave with at the end of the day. You're on mute, Pooja.
I'm sorry. I completely agree. I've also heard about your special segment dedicated to COVID-19, looking at the scenario and, there are things going on, I've heard. So, would you like to tell us more about it and how your platform is actually helping the people through the crisis?
So I think when we launched COVID Support Circle, that time the second wave was at just peak. So the platform, on the platform, we were trying to give an opportunity for people to not only share their grief, but also how to overcome it. And especially it also become a platform where celebrities who was providing support on the COVID related stuff, and they could use Backstage to also spread their work. Apart from it, we spoke to businesses who are badly impacted because of COVID, and how are they surviving. Forget about the growth, but how are they managing? Also, we had an interesting session on overcoming suicide-related grief that the family members suffer in such times, and we were focused heavily on mental health and well-being as well. So through our COVID support circle initiative during that time.
Yeah. So I just want to add on to that little that we as a company are very much focused on good quality content. and that's what differentiate us from any other media house there, or any other uh, content creator platform or anything. Like, we, yes, we want to have fun, not that we don't want to have fun, but we want to make sure that this platform is useful, and this platform, when people use it, yes, you can have fun events like what we are having right now. A parallel show which is happening is like Mehfil Fankar, and we there's a singer coming in and they do live singing and stuff. uh, but we also want it to be very, very meaningful, and want to have some kind of change in the society. I mean, that's why when we did the COVID support circle, where we wanted people to uh, come and talk about their own experience. Not, see, we didn't want to spread or do this on COVID, do that on COVID. We want people to have a platform where they can really talk their heart out. What happened, how did they cope up with that? So we are sharing stories so that other people, and most of the time you will like, people were having, like, I got so much feedback where people were had tears while they were listening to the story, and they got inspired, and now they think that even if something bad happens, we are ready to take on that kind of stuff. So we, and that's why we got, in every COVID support circle, we also matched it with a mental health coach or well-being certified coaches there, and they are giving out advices and giving out some kind of like what you should do about it, how to cope with this. So, and I'm very, very proud about that, what our small team has been able to do in such a small span of time, that we are, even if it's a small, but it's a meaningful change we are getting into. And that's where, if you look at it, like, we are also talking about LGBTQ causes, and not just like it's, and like we had on air coming on Backstage and talking about it, and we agreed upon that we don't want to always be on the, that we अगर मैं हिंदी में बोलूँ तो मोर्चा लेके हमेशा निकलने की जरूरत नहीं है. Let's talk about it. You don't have to just shout about it, or you don't have to always be कि आंदोलन हो रहा है, revolution हो रहा है, ये हो रहा है, वो हो रहा है. To make it mainstream, it has to be like, let's talk about it just like a normal topic. Actually, you just don't have to always be protesting.
I completely agree, and I actually salute your team on behalf of Media and Entertainment Skills Council for giving so much motivation and inspiration during that COVID second wave. It's been terrible, we all understand, but your support, every single step really makes a difference. So really, we salute you for that. Now, talking about the opportunities, and what's your take on audio streaming apps in India?
Rushabh, you want to go on it, or I can also go on it?
Oh, you start, I'll take it.
Okay. So, see, audio, as we said, like we are very, very bullish about it. We are very much focused about it. And I think the audio segment is going to grow a lot. And to give you like some of the facts about audio, as I said, like audio is the only medium which allows you to reach your target consumers or target audiences at the moment when they are busy with something else. You're not always watching screens. When you're listening to certain things, that's where the audio comes in the picture. When pandemic opens, like the pandemic is done, then hopefully soon enough, like we are all sick and tired of it, but hopefully in next coming months, when the things starts opening up much more, people are on the move, they are going to listen to the audio more. And with better data connections now, people are hooked onto the audio, and there would be I personally definitely believe that there would be an audio boom of post pandemic. And we'll talk about in coming years, like how pandemic also, while it's actually on the video OTT side, and we all know the story, I don't have to tell much about that. But the audio OTT is going to become the next big thing. It's already there, and it's going to become more mainstream. More creators will be audio creators. It's a radio 2.0, in my opinion. Like a lot of famous RJs there. Very soon, we'll have voice artists, and we'll have audio jockeys on Backstage and other platforms where they would be doing a lot of good stuff. So we are bullish on it.
Okay, so as you've said, audio OTT, you really see good opportunities with. What's your take on the future of OTT industry in India? What we have seen when this COVID situation actually started, and there was no shoots, no television, no new shows were coming up. Then there was a rise in OTT. It was a huge rise, and I have myself heard people saying, now I think I have consumed all the content on all the channels. So, what's your say on the future of OTT once things open up?
So I think India is a market. We are nearing almost 800 million internet subscribers, right? I mean, where do you find such a big market? So undoubtedly, it's an interesting space where we operate. But Pooja, I think the green shoots were visible right from even before pandemic as well. Where OTT content, because it was a little differentiated, so there were some really good content which came up, right? And that was the reason we were seeing growth as well. And in a span of say a few years, we had 40 different or over 40 odd operators vying for the audience attention. But the thing is, with pandemic induced lockdown, the it really gave fuel to the rocket, I would say. Where people were confined to their four walls and there was no new content being produced, so people just lacked onto it. But if you to overall look at the buzz being created by any content which is released on OTT, so for example, Family Man 2, I mean, was the buzz any lesser than a movie to be released in a theater? I mean, no, right? And it was very much there. And having said that, I think OTT industry is like the TV industry in the 90s. When the satellite television came in India, in a span of no time, today we have over 800 channels. I mean, it's been what? I mean, 20, 25 years at max. It's a 30 years now. Not more than that. But from zero, or there were no private channels there, and zero to 800 almost. So it's a huge opportunity. And as I said earlier, India is more like a European Union, where there are so many languages and dialects being spoken. So similarly, regional OTT, that thing is just beginning. So you have regional players coming in. You have even the big ones, big daddies, also focusing on the regional content. So I think the boom is it's unparalleled, and it's going to continue for years. I think OTT is clearly becoming the screen of a household very soon. And basically with smart TV prices going down, so पहले ऐसा था कि OTT was mainly mobile, but I think it will become the screen of the household in no time. But the challenge I would see for any OTT platform is, I think, seeking audience attention, because audience attention also gets divided when they are spoiled for choice. So I think what we've noticed is content discovery plays a very big role. And there is something like, there is a the platforms have around 90 seconds to draw audience attention. If they're able to grab the attention, the consumer continues watching. But अगर वो 90 seconds में नहीं हुआ, the chances of consumer unsubscribing to the service is also very high, and that is the reason we are seeing very high churn rate as well. And
Oh, yeah.
that's where something like Flix come into the picture, which actually helps people in deciding what to watch and where to watch based on their taste and preferences.
Yeah, and then we are seeing a permanent behavioral change in people's pattern of watching shows and movies. Even post-pandemic, yes, theaters will go open, but people will get used to the convenience. So it's almost like now offices are going to open, and I'm hearing from my friends and family that, and they are dreading the situation that they might have to go back to the office every day because they don't want to anymore. They are spoiled by this whole stuff there, and which I personally believe, yeah, I mean, like I like convenience. I want people to focus on the real thing rather than wasting time on commuting and doing all those things there. uh, like if I have to watch a movie, if it's not an experience, like theater going will become an experience later on, like an amusement park. When I want to go and watch a Marvel movie, I want to watch uh, that kind of superhero kind of movie which has a lot of special effects on it, or a really high octane action movie, which not everyone can get same experience inside the home. But majority of the story, if you look at 80 to 90% of the stories are a normal story actually, which is coming out. That doesn't need like a IMAX 3D kind of an experience, or that kind of an experience when you're watching normal day-to-day life soap operas or the drama based stuff. I want to watch with my family on a large TV in my living room or family room or wherever you have set up your theater or something like that. And that on demand experience, that's a permanent change in behavior, consumer behavior, and people continue doing that. Second thing I also want to add is like all these number of people who are acting on right now employed by the OTT industry. You can see a lot more people from who are struggling or who are having no opportunity to uh, be part of a movie or a TV. They latched onto the OTT platform. So it will continue creating that kind of shows, and OTT has pushed the boundaries. Of course, there are some controversies about those boundaries having pushed too far on certain things. uh, but if you look at it, like the quality of content on OTT, majority of the stuff is pretty awesome actually. Like I was really surprised, and like compared to the TV stuff where you mostly see Saas Bahu sagas and stuff there, the OTT is not about that. OTT is about real good storytelling, real good acting, and if you can see the rewards are being given to the uh, kind of very experimental and very bold scripts, and so that's a permanent change, and that will continue to happen on OTT, and it's that will push the boundaries for TV, that will push the boundary for movies and everything also.
So this, you also agree that theater will always remain an experience thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, but unfortunately, what is going to happen? The theater industry is, and that's my our take on it is like it's going to shrink a bit. Not every theater is going to survive. Not all the multiplexes having 10, 12 screens will have all the things. If I can watch it on OTT, I will preferably watch there certain kind of movies and shows. It will become more like an amusement park when you go for an experience. So, like I don't want to watch a small a drama and then pay arms and legs for a can of soda and a big popcorn bucket. Uh, I can do that at home at a much cheaper price actually. And if you look at the ticket prices, also the OTT price has have fallen down so much that one movie experience is equal. If I the money I'm going to spend on a theater is
Yeah.
more than a years of subscription of a particular OTT platform actually. So I mean, audiences are smart. They will see what's best for them.
I completely agree. I completely agree on this point that now when I also believe that there will be a filtration. If there is something to experience about, we'll go to the theater, and if there is something that can be, can be compared, almost equal, can be on OTT. So this means the OTT is going to be there forever. Plus,
Yeah.
of course, the theaters are there for past 100 years. They will be there as an experience thing, of
Right.
course. Now, with your permission, shall we go ahead and launch our magazine today before we proceed to my next question?
That
Please,
definitely
please.
that would be honor.
Sure. So first, I'd like to mention about our launch of Media and Entertainment Skills Council's monthly magazine, Media Talkback's latest edition, The Rise of OTT Platforms. The magazine covers important aspects of OTT industry, career, business opportunities, most watched shows on your favorite OTT platform. There is a special coverage, video interview with Mr. Shibhash Sarkar on YouTube, and last but not the least, exclusive interviews by Ali Hussain, CEO Eros Now, Arjun Prasant, Creative Director Netflix, Shibashish Sarkar, CEO Reliance Entertainment, Mr. Pushpesh Singh, Vice President Sales Z5, Mr. Rushabh Mehta, who's here as well, India Head BD and Operations FLYX and Backstage, Mr. Mithun Shetty, CEO Trescon, and Mr. Nitin Narkhede, Partner Ali. Nishant Mutreja, Marketing Manager Sony Live, Mr. Rupak Chatterjee, CEO MD Hipix, Ember Sharma, Founder Mowgli Baba, Beyond the Reel, Sriram Monaran, Founder MD Countess, and Good Show. So you can explore the world of tomorrow with Media Talk Back. And here I am taking this opportunity to release it in front of Mr. Mehta and Mr. Singh. So, thank you so much, sir, for releasing our magazine. It's really great to know about these opportunities coming up for the younger generation in another field, another subsector of media and entertainment. Earlier, OTT used to be just the posters, and it used to get consumed within the print and the graphic in the designing part only. Now, when we are talking about OTT platforms, and we have seen there is a future in OTT industry. I'd really like to mention that even Backstage and FLYX, we see immense opportunities, and we really wish good luck to your organization, your small step, and that's going to make a bigger change in coming years. We are very certain about that. So,
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like you to say something about your platform and this industry to our audience, please, as a last word from both of you.
Yeah, I mean, like I would say, like this is a very interesting space. We are very bullish about the audio space. We want more people to experience Backstage and come on Backstage, create shows, your own show. It's your platform. It's a space where, man, as we said, like we are very serious about the content. We want to create use Backstage for a good change in society, for goodness of everything that be awareness, that could be skills, that could be education, that could be even fun and entertainment stuff, but in a positive way. And we want to be a very inclusive platform. So all are welcome. Come over, experience Backstage, give us feedback. Like we are a small, nimble company, but we love feedback from the consumer, be it good or bad. That's what drives us. Even if for us, a bad feedback is a good opportunity to actually improve. So that also works really well for us. And good feedback is just like a pat on back. So I think I love both the feedbacks. Rushabh, you want to go next?
So I think, guys, we are passionate people who are trying to create something new and that to a meaningful product. It's just not there just for the sake of it. There is a purpose behind it, right? And with the content that we are making, we are ensuring it's all a proper, sort of I would say a very serious content in that sense. When I say it's serious, it's not just from a or a very serious conversation, but there is also fun element to it, but at the same time, the effort that we are putting in, and I think it will be far, far important for us, to get the feedback at this stage, and so that we are trying this to make a truly creators platform. And I think Pooja and to all the people who are listening to us, I think we are having this conversation on the video platform right now. Next time, we would want to have a conversation and see you backstage.
Wonderful. And certainly we can plan that. And yes, thank you so much for, Mr. Singh here on Saturday morning and Mr. Mehta with us on Saturday evening. So thank you so much for spending time with us and releasing our monthly magazine. We're delighted to have you here. We are also inviting you to be our partner as an industry. And yes, let's work together. Another thing, yes, guys, our magazine has released. It's available on our website. A free e-copy is available. Plus, there is a video interview that is also available. So you can go there, download your copy, or you can subscribe for the hard copies if you want to receive. So feel free. Of course, our media creative aptitude test is on. And by this test, you're going to get the scholarship equivalent to the score that you're going to earn in this creative aptitude test. So your dream institution is actually offering up to 100% scholarship. So register for MCAT. Visit our website, www.mescindia.org, and yes, get all the benefits that MESC is offering and the free online content of Creative Warrior programs. Thank you, Mr. Mehta, and thank you, Mr. Singh, for your time. I hope you have a good weekend, a good time, and all the best to FLYX and Backstage.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody. Stay safe and do register on FLYX and Backstage.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Take care.
You too.